What's up, Falcon fans? This is the recap video where I give you guys my thoughts on what happened to the game. If you guys like this type of content, hit that like button. If you guys hate this type of content, hit that dislike button. It will hurt your boy's feelings. Well, maybe just a little bit. But if you want to do a huge favor for your boy, by hitting that subscribe button, will help all the empire grow. So on that note, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the Falcons. And currently, I am recording this at 2 o'clock a.m. in the morning. So let's just dive in with the good. Number one is pretty obvious. It's only week one. I don't think it's really time to jump off ship because we have 16 more games left. I'm not saying they're going to be easier or a lot harder. I'm just saying we got more opportunities to adjust. That's the first thing. Number two, I thought the first drive was promising. That tells us that they are capable of moving down the chains with ease. So when we get that consistency all around, we can definitely be more at ease when we're going through the November, through December, January, and hopefully February, where we know that they can score on any given drive. That's number two. Number three, they found creative ways to give Bijan Robinson the ball. Now, I know some people will say, well, you're force feeding him. Well, I feel like you kind of have to because you stated, well, Raheem Moore stated that he's going to be like a Christian McCaffrey type of player in the same role that he was with the San Francisco 49ers. So I feel like you have to justify when you're saying such a big claim to give him the ball. And I thought they gave him some incredible first, second, and third down conversions while they were giving him the ball. And of course, some of them were have to, go backwards because there were flags on some of the plays where he made incredible first downs. So I think they did a really good job in finding creative ways to give him the ball. So I do appreciate on that level. So one of the most important things that I was worried about this game was the uncertainty of how this defense will perform without Ryan Nielsen as the defensive coordinator at the helm. Because we got Jimmy Lake this offseason, and frankly, I'm impressed. Obviously, we're not dealing with a Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. We'll wait until week 3 to really see that into fruition. Of course, we're playing against Justin Fields, who's not a well-known pocket passer quarterback anyway, so let's not kid ourselves. But what I gathered for week 1 is, they went after him. They were spying on him. They hit him. They tackled him for loss. They made sure that he did not try to, go berserk on us with his arm. Now, obviously, with his legs, that's a little bit different story. But I did like, the flying. Like, the entire defense was flying all over the field. And that's what we haven't seen since back in 2015 when Dan Quinn took in office. And remember that Eagles game in week 1 where the entire defense was flying over the field for the first half of the game? That's what it felt like to me when I was watching the full game at 11 o'clock at night. I do want to say we did a really good job against the Pittsburgh Steelers rushing attack. Yes, they got 41 total carries, 137 total rushing yards, 0 touchdowns, by the way. Najee Harris' biggest game was a 20-yard run where he gashed through the line. Of course, but he's Najee Harris. He's going to ball out. But what I calculated was, if you take away Justin Fields' run of 57, in total, that'll be 80 rushing yards in total for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's under 100. So, again, what killed the Atlanta Falcons in the run game last season was the quarterback run. Again, consistency where they haven't really figured that out, how to stop mobile quarterbacks. That will be our kryptonite. Our player of the game has to be Grady Jarrett, number 97, who I'm going to call Godzilla now. That's all he needs to know. Look, coming back from a serious injury from last season, against the Tennessee Titans, we've been saying this all the time. He is the Atlanta Falcons defense. I mean, without him, we were pretty much nothing. And, what a show. 3 total tackles, a sack and a half, 2 tackle for losses, and 3 quarterback hits. You couldn't ask for more out of this guy. And it's just a shame that we didn't deliver for him. He is definitely the player of the game for us. No question about it. So now let's talk about the bad. I'm very confused on why Tyler Algier is not getting more carries than just 3. I understand Bijan Robinson is the focal point of the Atlanta Falcons rushing attack, but you cannot tell me that Algier only gets 3 carries for 21 total rushing yards, and that's it. I mean, no more creativity for him. I mean, besides that 4th and 1 that he was on the field, but I mean, besides that, did none of the coaching staff thought of creating some special plays for his specific niche of smash mouth football? I just don't know. And hopefully Raheem Morris can address this sooner than later, because frankly I don't got a clue. Another thing that's very confusing to me is they made some creative play calls when it comes to the run game, but when it comes to the passing game, I don't know. Like I wouldn't say it was boring, but it was like not creative enough, not lackluster, not explosive, not you could get your one-on-one individual matchups. If you could, I mean, Kirk Cousins didn't really have the time anyways, but you know, the setup, you know, the premise of trying to isolate, trying to make sure Kirk Cousins does not throw in double coverage. By the way, he did that a lot for some reason. But yeah, again, this is what we hamper on Arthur Smith, that they weren't creative enough. They weren't, you know, getting those individual one-on-one matchups hopefully you like to do consistently enough. Now, besides that Kyle Pitts touchdown, that was really nice. And some other play calls as well that I thought, but again, there was fewer than you will hope. I was hoping to get more out of Kirk Cousins. Now, speaking of Kirk Cousins, I mean, look, I get it that, you know, obviously he probably wasn't going to be 100% healthy. I mean, that was just a pretty given at that point. But I want to say he looked like a deer out of the headlights or something like that. But I want to say he looked scared either. I think he just tried to, I don't know, maybe show off or just prove something. But to me, that he forced a lot of throws that I feel like you didn't need to force that, man. Like we're not saying, hey, if you do terrible, we're gonna bench you for, you know, Penix. I don't think that's the case. I will blame some of the play callings, obviously, like that 2 and 1, and like in the second drive where Kirk Cousins threw that first interception. Where why not just run the ball? Like, this is the thing I don't understand. Why is it so difficult for coaches in general? Where, you know, just move the chain by running the ball 1 yard, and then you get 3 fresh starts to try to get a touchdown. Move the chain. You don't need to do crazy plays where, you know, it's gonna hamper you. And again, like I was watching this and I was thinking, well, okay, this is easy. You know, get a first down by a simple run, right? No, they do some weird formation, and then, you know, Kirk Cousins doesn't have enough time to throw it properly, so he throws it behind or whatever, and it gets picked up because of the double coverage. Again, where's the coaching staff that realizing, just take the first down, just take the easy stuff. Don't try to force everything. I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm a novice and I don't know anything about coaching, but I don't know, to me, it just seems like that it's so easy. Just get the first down. Besides that rambling, I do apologize for that. But it just frustrates me that this is what we had a problem with Arthur Smith. You know, read the situation room. You have all day. You have all day to run down the clock. It's not like it was like two minutes before the game was over. It was literally the first quarter. I'm sorry, I do apologize. It's just something that really frustrates me to hell. But also what frustrates me to hell with, you know, the right tackle, you know, McGarry. Like, goddamn, look, I don't blame McGarry for flopping against one of the best defensive players ever, by the way, that the Atlanta Falcons should have taken back in 2017. But instead, we got Takk McKinley, and I will never forgive the Falcons for that. I'm sorry. You take a Watt. When a Watt is there on your turf, you take him. I don't care what position that he didn't fit. You take him. Again, I do apologize for that. It's just something that really irks the crap out of me. But, you know, I said this in my preview video. What is the difference maker? He is the defense. Like how we have number 97, he is that defense. And it's also kind of fascinating to me that, look, McGarry did a good job like a couple of times against Watt, but besides that, you will never know because Watt was just all over the field. And for some reason, Raheem Morris or the offensive line coach or whoever didn't help McGarry enough. Now, Pitts tried to do it, but Pitts is not a blocking tight end, and of course you got, your Warner. That's the reason why you brought him over there to block, and I think maybe one time you had him blocking, the help McGarry, but it's still, McGarry was getting thrashed. He was looking like he was a rookie. This man needed Jesus. I would try to pray for this man, and I don't go to church, but that's what I had to do because I just thought this is mind-boggling. Why does nobody in the coaching staff take the time out? Ask somebody, hey, who the hell's gonna help him out? Because number 90 is just making all types of plays. He was getting forced fumbles. He was getting tackle for losses. I mean, look. Speaking of T.J. Watt, because that's the whole subject is that he had in total 3 sacks. If you really think about it, of course 2 were taken back because of penalties, but like 2 sacks were taken away. 2 forced fumbles he did were taken away. I mean, this man was a one-man band army, and it's just crazy that the Atlanta Falcons didn't adjust. That's my problem was. You should adjust for this man. You had all week. You could have had, 2 people, 3 people. And now, obviously, that would probably be telling and showing. But at the end of the day, he will dominate the field. And maybe we might have a chance of winning this game. Let's be honest. If T.J. Watt wasn't in this game, I guarantee you we had at least 80% chance better rate if we would have won this game. But I digress. We didn't. And I'm actually kind of I was kind of shocked that the Steelers defense. I mean, they were good, but they weren't manhandling us. Individually, of course, and collectively they were. But again, T.J. Watt was the answer to their solution. I mean, you put Watt anywhere you want him on the board, and he just dominated like the dog he is in the most polite, respectful way. That's all I have to say about this man because I've been ranting way too much. And then of course, AJ Terrell got burned by George Pickens more than I liked. Now, obviously, 2 of those plays were pretty critical. One was, when he pushed off AJ, but the other, that 40-yard bomb, and then the other one before this, the third quarter started, where Justin Fields just lobbed it and then he caught it. I mean, look, AJ Terrell, he doesn't really start out strong. He started out really slow. And unfortunately, he needs to stop that because now people, or I already can tell, are pissed that we paid him so much money, and this is the result he is. Look, I will say he didn't get 100 yards. I mean, look, I get it. It's not the best, but look, I'm gonna say the benefit of the doubt. He just got the rust off. Besides that, I am kind of shocked that the Steelers' offensive line did a lot better than I thought. I thought the Falcons' D-line should have bullied, but they didn't really do that. And besides that, the Steelers' D-line bullied the hell out of the Falcons' offensive linemen. I couldn't believe that because the Atlanta Falcons' offensive linemen were in the top 5 in total of all statistics and categories. Besides the sacks, of course, because they gave up so many sacks last season. But I mean, I thought they'd do better because the Steelers' offensive line had young guys, new guys. Some guys coming from injury, kind of banged up, and obviously that's just not how everything played out. The missed opportunities on the Atlanta Falcons passing side and offensive side of the ball, fumbles, miscommunications, everything didn't line up right, and I don't know what else to really say. And the Kirk Cousins thing, I know I didn't look online because you know how online is, especially on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube comments. It's gonna be brutal for Kirk Cousins. No doubt about it. I'm pretty sure that people are already saying that bench him for Penix. But look, I will give Kirk Cousins for the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he looked scared. I don't think he looked worried. I don't think he looked out of shape, to be say. I know some people might say that. I think that getting throttled, like 25 pressures or hurries, getting kerfunkled all the time, not knowing if your offensive line was gonna help you out. I mean, like, those 2 interceptions were really bad, and of course I'm gonna blame it on him for throwing it in the first place. But I mean, he didn't have enough time. I mean, this offensive line did not help him at all. So I can understand that Kirk Cousins is a little frustrated. Again, it's 50-50. I blame Kirk Cousins, I blame the offensive line, I blame the coaching staff, I blame everybody, to be honest with you. But what I'm still shocked is, and this is my last point because I'm rambling too much, is that you still have Kyle Pitts, Darnell Mooney, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and etc. You have firepower, star power. You have some of these guys drafted really early on in the NFL draft. And for some reason, you cannot give them more than less than a touchdown. No, Kyle Pitts, he got a touchdown. Good for him. But Drake London, I mean, come on. Where's the receptions? Where's the targets? I mean, you got to Darnell Mooney. I mean, you got to give these guys great opportunity to showcase what they got, because if they don't, Falcon fans are going to be really annoyed. Then what's the point drafting high draft picks if they're not going to contribute compared to other players that go high in the first round and you see them balling out? Or sometimes you see guys get drafted in the 5th or 6th or even 7th round and they still ball out. It's just crazy. But that's all I have to say for that encounter. So in conclusion, I'm not mad. I'm not sad. I'm just disappointed, but I still love my Falcons no matter what the situation they put themselves in. Because watching this game, I realized we still had an opportunity to win this game. Even though I know that sounds really crazy, but if you win the turnover battle and you win over the penalty game, you have a better shot at winning the game. Okay, so we gave the ball over 3 times. 3 turnovers, right? And then, the penalty costs. I think we had 5 penalties, and then they had 9 penalties, if I'm not mistaken. So there's opportunities of growth. It's not like we got dominated in all 3 phases. Well, maybe the kicking game, because, man, that kicker, man, he was good. I can't hate on that. If you guys lasted this long to the very end of the video, thank you so much for taking your own personal time and day to watch these Falcon content videos. I love making videos for you guys. So what do Falcons do? Rise up. Until the next episode, show love and peace to the world, and peace.